Well, hello and welcome back to another video in the Fates the Night visual novel. Apparently there is a last episode I didn't even know that existed. I'm really confused and I don't know what to expect. This is completely, I think completely new territory that I'm going into right now. I don't know what happens here, but I'm really hyped. And without further ado, let's start with the last episode of Fates the Night. Bang, a ringing sound. There was light, and for the rest of my life, I will never forget that sound. The sound of a bell that announced the beginning of battle. She made even the most rugged armor seem beautiful. I ask of you, are you my master? That voice still rings clear. Instead of that image fading away, it is still clearly engraved in my memory. I have come in response to your summons. Henceforth, my sword is yours, and my destiny shall be intertwined with yours. And thus, our contract is formed. Right. Contract was formed. Just as she chose him as her master. So he vowed to help her. The moonlight still shines brightly in the darkness. The shed regains its former tranquility, as if to emulate the night's appearance. Every time I think back, I find myself murmuring her name. The azure light is all but forgotten. Her hair, like golden sand, bathed in the moonlight. Fate. Years later, during one of my naps, I find myself remembering the clash of swords from long ago. I don't recall the correct order of things. Memories are distant and dim, and what I felt then is back in the distant past. Let's talk about the past. It's a story about a boy and a girl over a holy grail. It took place over the short span of 15 days. Perhaps I would have died, but you wouldn't have been hurt. Let me repeat myself. do not do that again. My master need not defend me, nor is there any reason to do so.
ですから、そんな人間がいるとしたら、その人物の内面はどこか欠落しています。
Which is why, should I encounter such a person, I know they're lacking something.
その欠落を抱えたまま進んでは、待っているのは悲劇だけです。
And if that person continued on carrying on in that fashion, the only thing awaiting them would be tragedy.
あなたが戦わないというのならいい。
If you say you will not fight me, fine.
違うわセイバー。シロはサーバントを侮っているわけじゃない。そのあたりを誤解しちゃうと話が進まないから口を挟ませてもらうけど。
You've got it all wrong, Saber. Shiro isn't insulting servants. This isn't going anywhere as long as you don't understand that much, so I'm stepping in.
だから無茶でも戦う。勝てないって分かっていながら勝とうとする。その結果が自分の死でも構わない。
That's why you fight, even if it sounds absurd. You try to win even if you know you don't have a chance. And you don't care if you die in the process.
なぜならあんたの中ではどうしてか知らないけど自分より他人の方が大切だからよ。
Because, and I don't really know why, in that twisted little mind of yours, other people are more important than yourself. It really was foolish. No one person can save others. If I really want to end this battle, I knew what I had to do from the very beginning. A certain man asked whether I was really not going to fight, not kill, and not let anyone kill. If I realize my mistake, I should first decide what to fix, then decide who to punish. No. Come, Saber! Dazed, I reached my hand out. But not because I wanted help. I just thought the sky was so far away. That was my final thought, I think.
その堅くなさは実にあなたらしい。
You're too stubborn to change, aren't you?
まったく今さら答えるまでもないでしょう。
There's no need to respond, is there?
私はあなたの剣です。私以外の誰があなたの力になるのですか、シロ。
I am your blade. Who but I can be the one to help you, Shiro? She and that sword were one. That sword in the stone that selected the king. The brilliance of a sword that sealed her fate was also her brilliance. The soul must still be on the battlefield. Before daybreak, under the indigo sky, she just stared off into the distance, letting the wind blow by. A king is not a human. One cannot protect people with human emotions.
いいセイバー。デートってのはね、要するに合いびきのことなの。
Listen, Saber. A date basically means a tryst.
シローは遊びに行くって言うけど、つまるところ男の子が好きな女の子にアピールするチャンスってわけ。
Shiro may be talking about going out and having fun, but what he's really getting at here is a whole boy trying to attract the attention of a girl he likes thing. Ah, yes, that happened too. Luckily, the sky was high and the wind was nice and cool. The memory still lives in her heart, clear as day, in his heart.
I
will not break my vow as a king. I have a responsibility to fulfill my duty.
アーサー王の目的は聖杯の入手です。それが叶おうとも、私はアルトリアに戻ることはないでしょう。
King Arthur's goal is to obtain the Holy Grail. Even if it were finished, I will never go back to being Altria.
私の望みは初めから一つだけ。剣を手にした時から、この誓いは永遠に変わらないのですから。
My wish remains unchanged. From the moment I drew the sword, my vow could never change.
シローなら分かってくれると思っていた。
I thought you, of all people, would understand. It's a scene from so many years ago.
それを手に取る前にきちんと考えた方がいい。
Think before you take hold of that.
いいえ。
No. Even after seeing that future, she only gave one firm nod. The mage asked again if that was what she wanted. I saw many people smiling.
それはきっと間違いではないと思います。
So, this cannot be a mistake. She just wanted to protect everyone. But to do so, she had to abandon her desire to protect people. She could not protect her country as its king if she still had a human heart. Even knowing this, she drew the sword. Even knowing this, she vowed to live as king. No matter what happened, her mind was made up. She abandoned her human heart. She was willing to give up to protect her nation. Who could have known the girl would take such a noble oath? She was determined to fight. Come what may, and however it might end, she still decided to fight. Even if an inevitable solitary doom awaited her.
私は選定役だと言っただろう。ふさわしい人間がいるのならば、喜んで聖杯は譲る。
I said, I can make a selection. I will gladly hand over the grail to the right person.
そのために、まずはお前の言葉を聞きたいのだ、エミヤシロ。
So, to that end, I want to hear from you, Shiro Emiya. What I see is an All too familiar living hell. No matter how much they begged for help, I couldn't give it. If there was anything I could do, it would have been to put an end to it. I could only fix the wrongness of those living dead. I could only make the architect of that hell pay for his sins. The priest said, the truth of 10 years ago, malice that was planted into the Holy Grail, reality that there was no salvation anywhere. A sad event, a tragic death, misfortune that passed. There was no way to undo any of it. A champion of justice is someone who can only clean up a mess that's already been made. You'll never be able to save the very person you're hoping to save. I couldn't look them in the eye. I wanted to run away. Nothing could be done. As I listened to their pleas, I knew I had no miracle to grant. I didn't have the strength to contradict the man claiming champions of justice were just that. I have no apparent enemy. I've never wished for anything for myself. But let's say, if I did have a miracle at the ready, would I? No, I can't wish for that. I face the corpses. I grit my teeth as I refused. What is lost cannot be returned. This pained expression alone makes a heart ache. But what is it she had said? She could not start over. It was her duty as the king, so she refused over and over. She pledged once, so long ago. Something she swore to herself. She would fight. Even if she loses everything. Even if everyone in the world hates her.
私が愚かだった。
I was so foolish. An oath from a king. A promise to fight against all odds.
聖杯が私を汚すものならばいらない。私が欲しかったものはもうすべて揃っていたのだから。
If the Holy Grail will stain me, I do not want it. I already have everything I want. Yes, she has everything she needs with her now. Her pride as a knight, her promise as a king. Even the precious dream that young girl once held. You have my unwavering trust and respect. These are not my words as a king, but as a girl who could not protect anything, and now I shall be your sword until the very end. sun rises. The wind starts to pick up. A golden glimmer shines, seeming to last forever. In it,
最後に一つだけ伝えないと。
there's one thing I must tell you. I can hear the determination in her voice. Yeah. What is it? I try to at least sound strong. She turns. Saber looks straight at me and says, her voice clear.
シロ、あなたを愛している。
I love you, Shiro. She said that. The wind blows over the mountaintop. For a moment, I close my eyes, blinded by the morning sun. Then I open them again. I don't think I was surprised. I just had a feeling. Our goodbye. It's always going to be like this. All I see is the wasteland. Saber's gone, carried off by the gusting wind. Just like when she appeared. She left with grace, without a trace. Yeah, that's so like you. There are no regrets in my voice. Every memory, both of what I've lost and what I've gained, remain in my heart. I keep them all there, forever. I look out at the rising sun, hoping I never forget any of this. But none of it fades away from my mind for as long as for a long time to come. Watch the morning glow spreading over the distant land below. It reminds me of the golden fields she fought on. Realta Noir. This is not a story that can be shared. It's a story of a small wish, like one made on a star. It was a long journey. The time spent, the ideal that was held up, the life I tried to live, they were all possibly a nuisance. No matter how far along the road he traveled, he never got any closer to the end. No rest, no giving up, no hesitation. His resolve was strong. He traveled a long path. His journey was long, endless. The reason for this was quite simple. He did not know where he had to go, or what to do to find respite. It seems he somehow failed to find the end of his journey. Oh, it should have been decided at the outset. Nothing is eternal or immortal. No matter how prosperous or famous something might have been, the more it's used, the more it deteriorates. This applies to everything: machines, bodies, even a person's mind. Everything wears out. Everything eventually fades. Which is why even something one did not think of as painful as first may come to change after years of repetition. Your actions may be meaningful, but you yourself are worthless to the end. Hope and disappointment present themselves together. Noble ideals become worn out, obligations They finally mutate into filthy obsessions. The thing that awed us, that we looked up to as children, become mundane. And although we may look back, we no longer look up. That is simply what it is to be a normal human being. But he was no normal human. He carefully locks away what pains him. And so, his heart of iron is a testament to tin. It is what allows him to continue his long journey. In exchange, his sense of joy faded, but fortunately, he was not greedy. So, he was happy to receive something in return for only from time to time. He admired beautiful things. He traveled, seeing many people and towns. There were beautiful things everywhere, but he never was able to find the brilliant star he'd been forced to part with. His journey never ended because he had no purpose, because he never found what he wanted to find. But it was a satisfactory life. It was a long dream. The curse, the ideal, and the consequence all weighed heavily on him. No matter how long the slumber, there was no awakening. There's no movement, no refusal, and no desire. Just a deep, calming breath. It is an eternal dream and slumber. The king's duties have not ended. To fulfill the prophecy, the king does not return to the time before the sword even after death. Time passed, the nation prospered, and people changed. Even when people no longer wished for the noble king, the king's vows endured. After all, he shouldered many lies as the price of becoming king. But catching a glimpse of that dream was saddening. Scenes that peeked out from the depths of sleep. But now she wants to convey her feelings, to have him, now, distant and walking his path alone, hear her. Even if it means she casts aside her humanity and becomes a machine that just repeats the same thing over and over. Even if nobody else notices his pain. I am here, and I know your strength. But her eternal oath endures. If a past can't be changed, then that in itself is eternity. The oath and its resolve now bind the king forever. She will never allow herself to become the person she'd been before drawing the sword from the stone. But she still wants to see him. Even if she has to sleep for eternity, she still wants her voice to reach him.
それは難しいな。そもそも君たちの時間は絶望的なまでにずれている。
That would be difficult. To begin with, your time period was hopelessly misaligned. So the mage says. That wish simply cannot be granted.
普通にやったらまず出会えない。実現するには、まあなんていうか、二つの奇跡が必要だ。
Under normal circumstances, you two would never meet. To pull it off well, you'll need two miracles.
一方が待ち続けて、一方が追い続ける。
One of you must wait, and the other must chase after them.
それもありえないと確信しながら、ひどく長い時間耐え抜かないといけない。それはほら、言いにくいけど、望むべきではない夢物語だろ。
You will need to endure for a terribly long time, and even then, you must know that it is impossible. So, yeah. I'm sorry to tell you, but Don't you think this is a dream you should let go of? The mage asks his question. He tells her it's impossible. He questions whether the wish could possibly be granted, or if she truly desires to pursue it. The king's duty aside.
ああ、勘違いはしないようにね。王の責任を捨てろって話じゃない。そもそも君は骨の髄まで王様だ。そんな君から誇りを取ったら何も起こらない。
Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm not telling you to abandon your responsibility as a king. You're a king to the core. There would be nothing left of you if you gave up your pride.
君はそのままでいいんだよ。
You're fine, just the way you are.
僕が言っているのは正当な褒美の話だ。小娘一人が幸せに生きる権利、それぐらいの働きはしていると思うんだが。
I'm just talking about a fitting reward for you. One young girl's right to be happy. I honestly think you have done enough to deserve that much. The mage's words are plain, much like when she took the hold of a sword. He scoffed at the hardship she would face at the time, and now he's smiling at the future that may actually come true. There's no point in her answering. It's just a matter of whether the girl who is about to take the sword desires it or not. Either way, she lacks the power to grant her wish. Then, what difference does it make whether she wishes for it here or upon a star?
でも、それが本当にいいことなのかはまた別の話だ。
But whether this is right or wrong is another issue altogether.
アルトリア、時代も人も変わっている。あの頃のままなのは君だけだ。
Altria, times and people have changed. You're the only one who hasn't changed.
夢は夢のままの方が美しい。君はこのまま死んだように眠っている方が楽でいい。
Dreams are beautiful, so long as they remain dreams. It's probably better, easier, even, for you to just sleep like this.
それでも
Unless there's no need to answer. Even if she doesn't say it out loud, her wish won't disappear. And that would have been fine. Nobody would come visit finally. No one would seek her out. She just has to wait for the day the king disappears from the people's heart and minds. All she has to do is to keep that warm wish to herself as her scourge of encouragement, a source of encouragement, her dream, and just endure the eternal slumber. In the end, he couldn't change his ways, and she was never rewarded. And then, a long time passed between the two of them. I opened my eyes. I don't know how long I walked. I thought I'd only been passing through the desolate land, but I find myself standing in the pleasant meadow after passing through a deep forest. I'm not sure where I am, how much time has passed, how far I have gone. Everything is so unclear. I drop the weight I'm carrying and rest. I thought I would walk forever, but it seems like my journey ends here. A wide, verdant space unfolds before me, The constraints that so heavily weighed on me are unraveled by the wind rustling through the grass. My heart is at peace, and each step brings me back. The endless blue sky reminds me of a promise I made long ago, though I never spoke it out loud. It was a useful illusion I wish I made as bluff, because I saw the same sky and felt the same thing. If I'd kept pursuing that, we could have made it happen. That is what I had thought in my hometown. And then, she awakens from a dream as well. She keeps looking up at the sky and waits hopefully. She notices that the wind has changed direction and finds herself fighting back tears. As she prays, she continues waiting for her visitor. She simply says goodbye. Until now, she's only hoped for it, but she is so thankful that the small ray of hope. For that small ray of hope. My breathing accelerates. I don't believe it. I don't know how long it's been since my breathing was so labored. It feels like I'm back to being an inexperienced boy. It's a ridiculous idea. I chuckle to myself when experience doesn't make whatever. Now that I think back, I can't even remember how many times I wished upon the sky. I wanted to see her. If it all was at all possible, I wanted to hold her in my arms to tell her that I'd waited for so long. Her heart races, but she still doesn't move. Now she can't bear the thought of running all its effort walking away like this. When she once starts running right away, but she has to wait. But she still has concerns. She's questioned whether this hope, this miracle would really be allowed to happen. He is not the man he was when. His mind and body has been worn down, much like the affliction she felt. This is the scene that has always been their mind. And is now obsession but never forgotten. They held onto the past. That's why I kept going. Even this were only if the only dream would still have extended. Sorry, I can't read that fast. But I think you know what's about to happen. No, those deceptions are over. The hope, once remembered as only words, returns to all vivid brightness. Everything that had been locked away for so long stirs to wakefulness. Oh, right. Blood courses through her tin heart once again. The golden earth. Her heart is finally caught up and arrived at her hometown, which is long since lost. So much feeling wells up, but there's only one thing on the tip of her tongue. How much she missed him, how long she's waited, none of that matters anymore. That's right. In the end, he could not change his way of life. Similarly, she was never rewarded, but there are things which came about from protecting that promise. In the end, something precious came from surviving all this. Important things are rising to the surface. It's lucky to have all been chucked away in her deep heart. His smile and his boyish naive. I'm back, Saber. Words that emerge come out of the same as they are so long ago. It's as if the same moment simply picks up where it left off. Her steps are light. Her face breaks into a wide smile.
Hi. おかえりなさい、シロ。
Yes. Welcome back, Shiro. And so, the dream ends. He traveled in pursuit of a star. On every journey he saw others off. Much was lost and much was made. At the end of all lay an insurmountably tiny morsel that cannot be compared to a vast span of time has been eaten up. It's so very dazzling, remains a tiny poem. Dazzling. Sorry. Oh man. And then, at the end of their long journey, the two finally meet. This is the end of his journey, in search of a star, and now begins the pair's next long tale. And its end. This world will continue to turn, and much the same might one day become a star to someone else. The storyteller may fall silent, the performance may cease, but the story will not end, whether it's a comedy or a tragedy, so long as the applause to the stories never end. Like so many lives, may the arms of blessing find those who never rewarded, and those who are still traveling. Our journey continues on. So, that's the ending, the other ending, probably to the 8 route. At least it looked like that. Yeah. And that marks the end of the long journey I've been on, reading this visual novel. And I hope I don't get a copyright strike claim for this song playing right now. Oh no. Or something other than a restriction. Probably should not let it play. I can't skip it. So I probably have to do a funny stuff with YouTube and cut out the sound. Plus Ultra? What? Well, you probably can't hear the song, but I've never heard it before. And well, I don't really know what I should say, because everything I wanted to say I said at the end of the last video. And the one before that. At the normal end, at the true end of Heaven's Feel. in. Our final time. And we have another ending screen. Well, starting screen more like. It's beautiful. Well, that was Fate's Day Night. In all, not everything yet. There's still the Tiger Dojo stuff left, but that is all the endings, the main endings that are there. Can I say I'm at a loss of words? I don't really know what to say. I think I'm just gonna make a video about how I feel. That's probably easier than coming up right at the ending with the stuff I really want to say. But, well. This was Fate's Day Night Remastered. I hope if you followed along this journey, I hope you enjoyed it like I did. And, well, like in my last video, I hope you follow along with the next journey I'm going on. So, without further ado, let me end it right here, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, goodbye.